Welcome to Six Figure Trucker, the podcast where we share advice on how to be successful in trucking and have fun while doing so. We'll share stories, news, and advice on how to earn six figures in trucking, and we'll speak to guys and gals that are already doing so. Let's get to the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. And each and every one of you know, as you join us each week, this is where we elevate and celebrate the drivers of Norton Transport. And what's been different here lately, old man winter has hit us hard. We're talking now, when we're recording, about Winter Storm Fern that has hit so much of the country now. And joining us is one of our special guests who can really talk about that. That is Malik Beverly. Malik, how are you?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Now, Malik, you're joining us from Valparaiso, Indiana. That's about what, about an hour outside of Chicago?
Yeah, it's about an hour and 50 minutes, honestly.
I got you. I'm sure traffic's pretty, makes it an hour and 15 minutes or more.
Yeah, most definitely.
We were talking just a little bit before we got on the air here that it's about 10 degrees, 13 degrees there where you are now.
Yes, sir. It's about 13 degrees out here. But I know it probably felt like 7.
That's cold.
Yeah.
It's not nearly as cold here in Ringgold, Georgia, where we're bracing for some ice over the weekend, but it hasn't really materialized yet. But there's the chance of it. But there's so much of the country now that is under ice or huge amounts of snowfall. As a driver, how do you react to that mentally?
Mentally preparing for that, I kind of attack each week the same. Like, for me, mentally, I usually just look at it as like another opportunity to, I would say, challenge myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to challenge myself. I like to see if I could do certain things. So I know if I could get through this, I could get through anything. Like driving through snow, ice, rain, sleet. Like we're like mail carriers. Like we don't stop. So it's no way I could complain about what's going on or what's happening with the weather. Plus I know that the Most High got me. So it's like, all right, Most High got me, I'm good. I got him. As long as I got trust in him, I'll be fine.
Now, you were telling us, I guess it was late last week, you've been in some tremendous snowstorms here recently. Walk us through that.
So I went through Pennsylvania, and I actually drove through 2 snowstorms in the middle of the night. And it was it was crazy because it was snowing so bad. Like the roads was covered. People were stopping in the middle of the road. I couldn't even see probably like I couldn't even see like a mile ahead of me. So it was like one of them days, probably like the worst snowstorm I've been in. And I drove through that because I just was like, all right, you got to keep driving. I'm like, if you stop here, the snow probably won't stop for a while. Like it's gonna just keep going. So I just decided to just keep trucking. I was like, you know what? That's what I do. I was like, this is the part of the job. And then the second snowstorm I went through was in Buffalo. I picked up in Buffalo and I drove. Now that one, I've never been in Buffalo like snowstorm.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably the worst. That was the worst. Like the roads were covered and the snow was like piled up. So it's like I was like, okay. I was like, this is a little bit different. So I actually just took the time to stop at a what is that called? A service plaza. They
I
had a
got
service
you.
plaza. So I drove to the nearest service plaza and I just waited there until they had got salt trucks out. But for the most part, I'm like, I know I could do anything. Like I'm like I could do anything that you could do anything that you put your mind to.
What kind of truck were you in Buffalo?
I was in a small box truck. It was a small box truck. I think it was a Chevy.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did it get a little squirrely in the back end of that Chevy box truck?
Nah, I was going slow. Ain't no way I was going slow. There's no way I was driving that fast. Ain't no way. Cause sometimes you see like these truckers, like these semi truck drivers, they are literally doing like they'll be doing like 50, 60 in snow, and just because they got like they have loads in the back. They think that it's like they're untouchable. They think that they not gonna swerve. But I can tell you, I just see so many semi truck drivers during this winter is just like, jackknifed in on the side of the road
Hmm.
or the trailer flipped over. And I'm just like, you gotta take it slow. You gotta take everything nice and slow. Because if you take it fast, then I mean, what's the point?
Right. You don't make the delivery in your own safety and
Yep.
everyone else's safety out there.
Yeah.
Now, one thing in addition to the snow and the ice and the sleet, frozen rain that's been on the roads here in the last few days, the temperature. I mean, we talked about it. We briefly talked about it there outside Chicago, 10 degrees. I think I saw somewhere it was wind chills like -3. But I was looking, doing a little research right now as we're talking here at the end of January. We've got 0 to -14 in
Yep.
cities across the locations across the country. Most of that Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. How do you bear that? I mean, obviously you've got the heat cranked up, but you've got to stop and get fuel. I mean, and you've got to stop for the night. How do you deal with that?
So mainly now I kind of night drive. I night drive a lot. I think it's better for me to night drive versus during the day because it's like so many people. I try to get my rest in during the day, but how I brace for the cold. So now I got long johns. I got long johns. I always wear like a long sleeve shirt with a jacket, and then I got my coat, and then
Mhm.
I got a ski mask, and I got a hat, and I got some really good winter gloves. But I kind of figured out yesterday because I had to when I was on my way to pick up my truck at Streeter, I had to walk through the city of Chicago downtown. I had to walk through downtown Chicago so I could get to the next train station, and that wind was terrible. Oh my gosh. I was like, I need some ski goggles because it was bad. Like my eyes started tearing up and then my eyes started freezing. And then I forgot my long john, so then my legs was freezing. And I was just like, oh, brother. Like it
They
was
call
all
it,
bad.
yeah, they call it the Windy City for a reason.
Yeah, it's like downtown is like a tunnel. Like
Hmm.
it's literally like when you walk through the buildings, it's like a wind tunnel. Especially if you walk down the wrong street, it could be a very just
Oh yeah,
straightforward. That wind is coming straight at your face.
yeah. I've been there a couple times. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason they call it the Windy City. But
Yeah.
wanted to talk a little bit about. Wanted to reintroduce you first. This is Malik Beverly here, joining us on the Six Figure Trucker, brought to you by Norton Transport. Now, this is not your first appearance with us. You've been with us back a couple years ago when we were doing it without video, and I
Yeah.
think there was a time in between. You came up on your team as driver of the year and had
Yeah.
a brief appearance with us. Tell us about that.
Uh, so when I got driver of the year, that was an amazing accomplishment. I think I've never been like in a position like that, but I always continue to work hard. Like I don't think it's any like I think with any job that you have, you should always like give it your all until you either leave or you find something new or end up doing something new. But you should always like no matter what you do, you should give it your all. So that was a really amazing experience to get driver of the year because I was like, dang, I ain't never got nothing like this.
Yeah, you were on the team, driver of the year for the team you were on, and you're also a non-CDL driver. That's
Mhm.
and so we recognize non-CDL drivers as well as CDL drivers for driver of the year accomplishments. That came with a little monetary gift too, there or
Yeah,
award for your work.
yeah, yeah. It was shit, I think I gonna take my family out. I
Took them
take
out
my
to
family.
dinner.
Yeah,
Cool. Speaking of your family, how large is your family? I mean, I heard you talking earlier. You've got a couple children, or one, or
yeah. I got a wife and I got two kids. My oldest is 5, my youngest is 1. So I had a new addition last year, so it's been amazing being a father to two boys. 'Cause I got two boys, so it's been amazing being a father to two little boys just running around here just terrorizing me.
how do you juggle your schedule when you're on the road so much when you've got two young ones at home?
Oh, that's a good question. So what I try to do is I try to spend as much time like on the phone, like talking to my family as much as possible. Cause I'm gone Monday through Friday. Well,
Hmm.
as of lately, it's been like Monday to like Wednesday or Thursday. So
Right.
I've kind of, well, I haven't really tailored my schedule, but the most high really been, you know, blessing me with a schedule that I can actually like work with. Cause for the past years, I've been like either on the road from Monday to Friday, or I've been on the road. Like sometimes I'll stay out, but as of late, like as of like last year, I've been home every week. I haven't missed like not one weekend being at home. So
Right.
I try to make it home like by the start of my week. I start off from Indiana. I'll go to like either Pennsylvania or Ohio or New York or New Jersey, and then I'll go down to like if it's something in North Carolina, I'll go down to North Carolina or Virginia, and then by the time I get there, I'll shoot right back up. I'll
Hmm.
shoot right back up to somewhere close to the house. But as of lately, it's been so much stuff on the board that's going back to Illinois. I'm like, shoot, I'll be going on.
Yeah, we were talking about that a couple of days ago. You had a great week where everything just connected. I mean,
Mhm.
it doesn't always connect, but you plan for it to connect, and it happened up stars aligned last week.
Yeah, so I give all yeah, I give credit to the Most High, but then also too, I got a great dispatcher in Sierra. Like she's amazing. So like she really helps me, and I'm able to work with her and ask questions like, "Hey, do you think this will work?" Or "Hey, if I do it like this, what do you think about that? Like, you think that'll work, or should I push this out?" So we really kind of coordinate, our thoughts and ideas with one another. And if she's unsure, she'll kind of let me make my own decision. If she's unsure, and I'll be like, and sometimes I gotta do some convincing, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I could do it at this time.
Right.
So with that last week, I had a couple of moves. I forgot what it was. Oh yeah, so the first move I had was going down to Georgia, and then I was gonna take the bus, but I ended up not being able to take the bus, so I ended up getting a rental that I drove to Creedmoor, North Carolina, and I got to North Carolina, picked up my truck, and I drove up to Virginia. No, yeah, Virginia. What's Virginia? Yeah, it was outside, right outside of Virginia, right
Hmm.
outside of Richmond. So once I got no, it was Washington. My bad. No, dang. No, oh no, it's Frederick, Maryland. That's where I drove to. I drove to
Right.
Frederick, Maryland. So once I got to Frederick, I literally the Uber I got was like $30. I got paid like $30 Uber to go down to Washington. Caught the train from Washington, which was like $25 to
Right.
Salem, which never happens. Usually the trip from Washington to Salem is like maybe 40, $50. So I had got a deal with $25. So I paid $25 for an 8-hour trip. I got on the train, slept on the train, got down to Roanoke, and then Ubered over to Salem, picked that truck up, went up to Marietta, Ohio, and then from Marietta I caught a $20 bus over to Columbus that took me. Man, where did that truck take me? Oh, Michigan. It took me to
Okay.
Lansing, Michigan, and then once I got to Lansing, Michigan, I just Ubered over to I Ubered right over to Detroit and picked up my
Awesome.
truck, and it took me back home.
That's awesome, man. When it all lines up like that, and you mentioned a couple times in there, you got the bus. How many times would you say you take a bus versus a rental or Uber? Do you try to seek out a bus? I mean, for your plans?
Yeah, so I as of late, I've learned like, and it's just like what I've learned, like just doing like the business. I've learned like, okay, it's okay to like spend money. Cause usually I'm a strictly with money. I don't really want to spend it. So I've learned like I thought getting Ubers was like I thought getting rentals was my best bet. But when I realized I'm like, okay, I'm wasting a lot of money on rentals because they're always gonna be like maybe 100 to $140. I'm like, okay, I'm paying that on the back end. I'm like, shoot, I might as well pay a bus ticket. I'm gonna pay especially if I'm gonna pay. Sometimes the bus is cheaper than a rental. So if I pay for a bus, I'm like, I get sleep and I get to get there on time.
Right. Right.
And yeah, I've learned that just taking the bus is a lot better. It's a lot easier on the body.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. you don't have to drive. I mean, after you've been driving a truck and been
Yeah,
driving rental. But I want to kind of double back to wintertime driving. We talked about the temperatures. We talked about the road hazards. You being a non-CDL driver, you get a lot of gas vehicles, but you've had some diesels. And I
yeah,
think we talked about gelling and running into that problem. That's always frustrating. You've hit it before.
yeah. I've had it like one time, and I didn't know what was wrong. And I was just like, oh my gosh. So I just once I finally I got the truck, so I just let the truck heat up because I was like, oh no, we ain't shutting you off. I was like, we're not gonna shut you off. It's too cold.
Yeah. Now, a lot of drivers will try to, and we stress to them to use either Diesel One or get some anti-gel, particularly when you're going to North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota,
Ah,
Wisconsin. And we drop and pick up a lot of trucks in Minnesota and Wisconsin. So, I mean, as a driver, how much value would you put on it as far as spend just a few cents more per gallon or whatever the anti-gel costs
mm.
versus what could happen if it gels up on you?
I would say I would say you probably I don't go lie. It's more than worth it. Like spending the little extra dollars. I know everybody's just trying to save money, but I would say it is worth it to put the little bit of extra money in your tank that you can like actually so you won't run into those issues. Because
Right.
I've never picked up in North Dakota in the dead of well actually I dropped off in North Dakota in the winter and that was I know that was terrible. But I was driving like a walk-in van and the cold was getting through the van. I had the heat on full blast, but it was still freezing in the vans. I was just like, man, like but I would say it's worth it. Most definitely worth it. Like spending I've even spent a little bit of extra money on diesel. Like getting just making sure because after I had that gelling problem, I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna spend a little bit extra money because
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just don't want to run into that problem again.
I'm gonna brag on you here a little bit. I was doing a little research here on now this is Malik Beverly joining us on the Six Figure Trucker brought to you by Norton Transport. Malik's one of our non-CDL drivers. He's been with us. Did you know it's gonna be 4 years in June?
Oh, it is. I thought it was gonna
Yeah.
be.
Hey, you've spent some time on the road. I'm sure you're aware of it, but 7,800 miles a month is what you're averaging, and you've done 350,000, almost 351,000 total miles. I say that to put it into perspective. You're on time this year. Your on time percentage is 75%. That's pretty good. And we talked about your planning. Is that something you take pride in?
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say I take pride. I'm just joyful to get people stuff there because I'm like, everybody. It's like I said, we mail carry. We're like I treat it like we're mail carriers. So everybody wants their stuff. Everybody wants their package. A truck to these companies is like a brand new package. It's like, oh my gosh, and a lot of people be like, I really needed this truck, like
Right.
as soon as possible. So, and I know sometimes on load board, loads be sitting there. So I sometimes look at the loads that nobody's taking, like, especially like if it's going like sometimes it's going in the middle of nowhere. Now I always make sure I could get out of there before I take it. But if I could get out of there, I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna go ahead and take this load because they're
Right.
gonna be waiting for a while and I keep the trucks no later than 24 hours unless it's over the weekend. That's different because nobody's open. But like if it's during the week, you go I pick up your truck, you go get your truck in less than 24 hours because there's no point in me keeping it. It's not my
Right.
truck. I'm not gonna be able I'm not gonna do nothing with it. So I'm like, shoot, here, take your stuff so I can get to my next load. Cause I try to average around maybe I think I average around 4 to 5 loads a week.
That's
Yeah,
good.
between 4 and 5. Yeah, between 4 and 5 loads a week. And I realized I was like, time is money. If I drop the truck off as soon as possible, I get paid quicker.
Malik Beverly here joining us on the Six Figure Trucker brought to you by Norton Transport. Now, Malik has told us a lot about wintertime driving, some of his experiences he's had where it was so cold inside the van, even with the heat all the way up, you could still feel the cold. And Malik, you've been telling us a lot about the life on the road, and we appreciate that, everything you've shared with us. But I noticed there in our conversation, you mentioned Most High a couple of times. I want to talk with you next week about Most High, and I understand something else that has a lot to do from the soul that you participate in. Can you join us next week?
Yeah.
All right. Malik, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. Appreciate it, Pat.
Six Figure Trucker is brought to you by Norton Transport. Norton Transport is a drive-away trucking company that customers can rely on. It offers excellent independent contract driving opportunities to professional, courteous, and qualified drivers that can provide the kind of service we deliver. If you're interested in learning more about Norton or just want to subscribe to the show, check out 6-figuretrucker.com. That's 6-figuretrucker.com.